Hey, recording here. Good evening, good morning. Hello, all that have clicked on this video. Tonight, we are talking about the energies of Pisces season, where we will dive into what the sun energy is about and these retrograde energies that are happening in 2025 Pisces season. I'm Zane McFarlane, a rising Virgo, Sun Pisces, and Moon Capricorn, here to help bring a practical sense to these transit notes and what's happening in the energies here. And joining me tonight is my co-host Rochelle. How are
Hmm.
you?
Wow, I am so good. I am navigating technology in a way that is quite interesting because I'm not sure if I'm actually even showing up in the part. I think I pinned you. I will remove
I'll
the
ping you
unpinning
now.
you. Okay, excellent. So thank you, Zane. I'm so excited. I'm here as a rising Pisces, offering such an interesting medicine of water. I often will say, being a mutable sign, a mutable water sign, I am just asking for a container that I can fill. As an energetic medicine woman and a co host of this space, I just get really excited being able to share the transits and to dive into them. And because when we know what is coming, we're able then to dance with them with more grace and more ease. So I'm excited. I will hand it back over to you, Zane.
So, tonight, again, like I said, focusing on those energies of Pisces season, specifically the retrogrades that Mercury and Venus are having, and we'll have a little body practice at the end. Just a little housewarming, keeping peace. We do have a live audience here, so we'll hop off for a moment, but it'll just be a blink of an eye for you. To start us off, though, Pisces. What is Pisces? Pisces is the two fishes swimming in opposite directions. Its element's water. And sometimes these fish can be perceived as one being closer to the surface and one deeper, representing the conscious. And Pisces is about the dreams, dreamy, intuitive, that piece of, yeah, being with the flow, as it's a mutable water sign. What is Pisces for you, Rochelle?
Pisces is the dream world. It's the subconscious and the conscious happening at the same time, like you mentioned. It's the parts of us that can be hidden. It can be parts of us that we don't see, but others can see. Sometimes it's even the mysticism, the energetics of the healer, the energetics of not quite the magician, but the shaman, I would say. And in this energy, it's mutable. That means it's like a shapeshifter. It's having a duality to it. It can be who we think we need to be and how we merge with others. So, depending on where this lands in the chart for your natal chart, it can look different having the flavor of the houses. As I mentioned in my piece of coming forward and introducing myself as a rising Pisces, often I want to be with others. And so, thinking about what aspects and areas of your life do you want or feel naturally inclined to connect with the others? I'm curious how many people that are in the psychology world have significant parts of Pisces in their charts.
Right. And so, going with that psychology piece, during this Pisces season is coming inwards and looking at what our actions do and that piece of self-reflection where healing might need to happen, where there might be projects that are needing to be finished that we've been putting off. And so that's a lot of this energy that we're going to be experiencing over Pisces season, a little bit due to the fact of the retrogrades that are happening. But Pisces is really helps with that because Pisces wants us to take it slow and use our mind, come inwards, use our subconscious and conscious mind, find that balance in between it. And that piece of finding what moves us forward in the sense of what is our dream? And to kind of help guide that piece of maybe where the sun is lighting up in your chart, we have a few keywords to the houses in the system. Keywords to the houses. And those that don't know, the house system is this piece that gives us a little bit more insight of area of life in the sense of where the sun could be lighting up and giving you more energy. As when the sun moves into a sign, it gives energy to the house that sign is in. And by looking at our chart, we can see what area of life that can be giving us an extra energy boost or bringing more attention to our life. And so here's a quick overview of what the houses can mean. So the first house, so if you have Pisces in the first house, it's about the self, yourself, and how you show up. The second is money and resources. Third is communication. Fourth is the home and family. Fifth is creativity and children. Sixth is health and daily routines. Seventh is relationships. Eighth is transformation and shared resources. Ninth is travel and education. 10th is career and goals. 11th is community and friends. And the 12th house is karma and endings. And so, depending on where Pisces is in your chart and what house Pisces is, those can be some of the extra flavor that this solar season can bring in for your life. Checking in with Rochelle here. Is there anything that you would like to add? Maybe something I missed? And your own Piscean, raising Piscean energy perspective to it.
Yeah. Knowing, as Zine was saying, we can be so empowered knowing how and where the sun is bringing light, life, and vitality. Often I find that people will get confused about astrology and they'll think that they're just only their sun sign. And so, part of understanding where and how your chart is being activated, everyone has the 12 house system being activated upon birth. So, as a rising Pisces, I always like to look at, how can we work with the sun and what house it is lighting up. So those that are here in our live audience, let us know down in the chat if you know where those are, and if you're watching this obviously on the replay on our YouTube channel, let us know in the comments if you know what house the sun is going to be in during Pisces season, which won't start until next week, just after midweek next week. And there's being able to work with the sun energy gives us this capacity to actually work with that section of our chart and to make life a little bit more flowy, a little more ease and also to navigate the transits as they're happening since the sky is alive. I think you did great on going through the 12 houses, what kind of little bits and pieces are, keeping it very simple. And that is our goal here, is helping you to learn to grow with your chart and to navigate it as the sun does move and all of the aspects that are in the sun. So this is great. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. We're happy for those of you that are here live with us. That's the benefit of being here live. You get your questions answered in real time. And we love that. Hey, Zane?
Yes, and we are just going to take a pause with the recording here and check in with those that are live here and answer those questions in person, personally, and just be able to have an open conversation. So we'll see you in a little bit for the Mercury retrograde part. Alrighty, so Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is happening on March 14th. It's starting to move back. And what is a retrograde? Retrograde is when the planet from Earth appears to be moving backwards. But in astrology, this is giving us the energy and asking us to look more inwards and really take time to find our wording, maybe our footing, or finish off that project that we've been working on. And so, what does Mercury retrograde mean specifically? During this period, Mercury retrograde can be associated with delays, miscommunication, travel disruptions, and technology malfunctions. Possibly during this class, we've experienced three of those of miscommunication, travel disruptions, and technology malfunctions. And I mean, can those can all show up in different forms and ways. Can be little tiny things as maybe the screen freezing for a brief second. That can be a technology malfunction. As there's this big belief that during Mercury retrograde, it's like the apocalypse is going to happen. All suddenly, technology is going to shut down, won't be able to use cell phones, but it's not that catastrophic. It is that piece of just little tiny things of maybe you heard a yes instead of a no. Maybe you read something off of the internet and there was miscommunication because once you went to go and read it again, it didn't read the same. Maybe it's you scheduled a post or tried to make a video, didn't turn out the way that you thought it would turn out, and there's technology errors. Like there's a glitch in the audio. Maybe there's that slight bit of traffic lights are turning red a little bit faster than what they should. And so it's those tiny little things that happen to in our day-to-day life that Mercury retrograde affects. Your thoughts, Rochelle, on how you perceive the Mercury retrograde here?
Well, given that it's going to be happening in the sign of Pisces and in dipping into Aries and then coming back to Pisces, this particular one is giving me the feeling of really having a deeper understanding of my self talk, looking at the subconscious, taking some time to potentially do some more nidra yogas, taking care of my nervous system and others. I would be making that a strong recommendation, being able to, how do you care and tend for yourself, but also how do you speak to yourself? And again, with it being in this mutable sign that it's happening in, seeing how you can flip flop, not being indecisive necessarily, but being able to like almost like play the devil's advocate within yourself, you know, how you can be really, really positive, but then all of a sudden being really, really low. With it being a 9 energy year and this retrograde, blending those energetic brew ingredients in, really tending to those belief systems, to how you can become that shapeshifter, and then being able to find where is that finite balance that really helps you to communicate. So, as Zane was mentioning, being careful with our communication, going slower with our communication, and giving ourselves that spaciousness of maybe reading it over a couple of times beforehand. I would caution any contracts being signed, especially if this is in your second or your eighth house where this retrograde is happening for you, and being able to really be spacious in that communication, giving yourself time to think about what you want to say before blurting it out, and then again knowing there's only expectations if you shove those on upon yourself, right? Being able to really lower that down, not so that you don't achieve anything, but just so that there's not those little blips in our communication, because I think it can be really frustrating when our communication isn't clear, but also frustrating for the relationships with others and the connection. Yeah.
Yeah, and that piece of not signing any major contracts in that second and eighth house, that's our money access. But part of me also wants to say, weirdly, they don't up, look from across each other on the table, but they kind of meet in a diagonal a little bit, or yeah, like a square, being the 10th and the seventh house, as the seventh house can be major partnerships, and the 10th house can be our career. And so it's like that piece of they're making sure that there's the clear communication happening, that you know what your career expectations are, and that sense of coming to relationships, what expectations might be in the relationships, and not going too far in that sense of there becomes that difficulty and emotional distress possibly. And so during this time is really, as Rochelle was saying, double checking those emails, those text messages, and taking that deep breath, finding your words before you speak them. As during this Pisces season is this moment of coming back in and reflecting, not going out trying to create something new. This is definitely a time to come back in and go, what have I started? So then I can finish it, especially with this 9 year energy. Any other final thoughts on this Mercury retrograde, Rochelle, before we check in with our live audience once again?
Mm. Yeah, that was the part about really taking time to finish up things. And maybe there has been, and then what can happen during Mercury retrograde is that we can remember something that we thought of that we sort of put to the wayside. So if there's certain things you've been working on, a hobby, a project of some sort, you know, allowing yourself to finish it off. And sometimes we need more time, and give yourself complete permission that it's okay to take more time, because a rushed project sometimes doesn't feel as good as having something where we've taken the time with it and the energetics will show up with it. So yeah, I feel pretty complete with this. There's always more to share because of the entanglement of other frequencies, but keeping it really clear, this energetics to respect when it comes to our communication, to give ourselves the honoring of what we need and being able to self-care in a way. And I know later on in this, we're going to talk about a body tool, and that body tool is going to start to help us to slow down and to come more clear with our conversation and our capacity. Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Mm, thank you. And we will be back in a blank. Venus retrograde. This is the planet of love, relationships, resources, money. And so during this retrograde that Venus is having during this Pisces season is about reflecting on how we've used money, how we might have unresolved relationship issues where those lingering emotions might be sitting unresolved. And so Pisces season is here to help dive into that conscious piece and subconscious piece to help bring out those pieces that are lurking below the surface to help resolve them, heal them, so then you can move forward and that process of enjoying life. And so March 1st to April 12th is when this retrograde is happening. Once again, March 1st is when it will start its retrograde, and April 12th will be when it ends. And so during this time, it would be that piece of, once again, like Mercury, being clear in our communication, how we're spending our money, and that piece of self-love, coming back to self and giving self-love and not trying to look for that exterior validation as that can create an extra form of hurt or bring up, once again, those emotions that maybe have been processed slightly, but not completely. And so that can create friction within life, relationships of any form. And yeah, what are your thoughts on Venus going retrograde here, Rochelle?
It is really thinking about what is meaningful when it comes to beauty, when it comes to creating our space, when we think about our environment and what is in our environment. So that can be something when it comes to our thoughts again. It could also be just in the idea of what is in our surroundings. So this will be a good time to be decluttering, getting rid of things that are no longer feeling of value to us, but maybe they're of value to others. So, selling things on Facebook Messenger or Marketplace. Again, just know that communication could be a little bit wonky. So, giving yourself a lot of boundaries around how you will protect your time. And given that Venus can be playful, but also have a dark side to us, it can be, where have we had some hidden pieces about scarcity and lack. So just notice how this might be feeling for you. And when the retrograde is happening, we've been in the shadow. So just notice how you might have been feeling since the end of January, and then also taking that spaciousness until mid-May. Again, the shadow is just the degrees that are going to be reviewed and revisited. So giving yourself the spaciousness of self-care, but again, being in a 9 energy, not being overdoing it and being gluttonous. So really asking ourselves, do I really need this thing? Or how will this help? And how is this going to invest into the goals that I'm working towards? And part of, I'm just seeing our chat with our live audience. Yeah, I think that is a very, very, very relevant. So Venus is about how we can also love the other and to be connected with the other, and the things that how we want to create beauty with others, whether it be in business, personal relationships, family relationships, romantic relationships, and everything in between. So how can we be nice a nice person out in the community too, just to the, to the people who are working in retail at the grocery store, thinking about how can you put a smile on your face. And if you're not feeling that and you're feeling low, there's going to be a body practice in this section for you coming up before we are done, to just to help revisit how to create better posture, how to also get that solid footing, since Pisces is really about the feet. So this Venus retrograde, I'm going to say take better care of your feet. Back to you, Zane.
Yeah, and that piece of you're going to the feet here, and where Venus is retrograding, even though we're in Pisces season, Venus retrogrades in Aries. So that piece of our face and how we take care of our face, where we might have that piece of old habits and routines of self-care come up. Those beauty routines, maybe the desire to get a new style, picking it up. But during this retrograde season, know that it's about self-reflection and possibly hold off on doing any major changes that can be permanent, like a tattoo, doing some form of surgery, those pieces that are hard to revert. And so taking that time to, yeah, reflect and hold off on it, process it before jumping in, as, yeah, really checking in with our values. I saw you unmute there for a moment. Would you like to hop in?
Yeah, nothing drastic.
Yeah.
Might seem like a really good idea, but again, any decisions, we can think about those as being sort of like self or inward contracts with ourselves. So again, revisiting it. If we are out of balance, this can often happen in a 9 energy year, where we can be, gluttonous, we can be off balance, we can be stuck in old programming of the mental mind that haven't been serving us. So again, hold off on doing anything too drastic. And, I guess unless it really, you're balanced and you're in check and then you feel that full body yes, then go for it. But no, all decisions do have, a swinging back on us of what can also be the repercussions. So again, there's not a need to be paranoid. It's just more about being sensible, and whatever that maybe that sensible looks like for you. So yeah, that feels complete. Thank you.
Cool. We'll move on to the body practice then after our quick check-in. So, the body practice that we have here tonight is here to support us in the upcoming Pisces season and these retrogrades that we are going to experience. Rochelle has cued our live audience to prepare to reach their feet and be able to touch them. And with that, Rochelle, what body practice do you have for us for this Pisces season?
Well, thank you, Zane. Yeah, Pisces is the part of our bodies that is the feet. And because of these the retrograde energies that are here, it's going to be really important for us to tend our feet, to care for our feet, and what is below is above. Some of the retrogrades that we talked about go into the Aries, which is the face. And so what better way to help our face and our posture than to deal with the feet? So I'm going to show my foot here. You can find the center of your foot. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to pull the skin away. So actually Zane is going to show it. So you can see how his skin is whitening. There's a firm amount of pressure. So if we were to think about the center of the foot, pulling the skin, feeling the fascial tissues moving, and it's going to be from the center all the way out and up and down the foot as well. So when you come to the center of the foot, you want to come up towards the toes and go down towards the heel. So if your feet are not accessible, maybe ask someone to help you. You can do their feet and they can do yours. This is a real great benefit of when we have a spatial awareness needing to be increased. Make sure to do your other foot. You want to notice how that feels, and maybe the invitation you'll accept. Do one foot, walk around the room, notice how it feels. Do the other foot, walk around the room, see how it feels. There is this real interesting part that happens when we turn on our foot pad sensors. So how we do that, center of the foot and out in a 360-degree angle, pulling the fascial tissues out in that area, out towards the toes, to the sides of the feet, and again, also down towards the heel. This is helping our feet understand to receive the information about what is happening beneath the foot. So if you'll notice that sometimes you might not know where you are, a body disassociation, not sure where we are in the room. Children, as they're growing, this can get all switched off. The next part that we're going to do is the ball of the foot. So if you want to feel the ball of the foot where the big toe joins the foot, you're going to rub that area of the ball of the foot. Nice. This is excellent. I'm glad you're showing this. And there's going to be firm pressure again. This might be sensitive. This is turning on what we call our gates, how we're going to move forward, back and forth in the world, and also side to side. So again, you're going to go to the ball of the foot. You're going to go across the foot to the between the big toe and the second toe. And then all the flesh in between the toes, where the toes join the foot. Notice what might feel sensitive there. Only apply as much pressure as you can handle. So again, this is your body practice for Pisces season, giving you this sort of switch on, as we say in our work of body tools, turning the feet on so they understand how to receive the information from the ground. You'll notice if you set an intention of more a posture, more of a tall posture, your points will change. You can, some of those that are in our live audience, their laundry sorry, I'm reading the chat as it goes up. So oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to focus on being able to explain this practice will really help your feet understand how to track the information that is below it. During Pisces season, we can be experiencing some disillusion, some things that we thought were true for us now becoming not, and we're starting to find the truths. This is some of the things to be watching out for in Pisces season, using this practice with intention, whether it be that we are launching something for our business, looking for more work, being able to step in with more confidence into loving relationships. Remember to start with yourself first. So if you have any questions, feel free to message us, put a comment down below. And for those of you that have been in our live audience tonight, we appreciate you. If you're wanting to be in our live audience, we'll leave a link down below how you can join us and also come and participate and see what it's like for you behind the scenes. And with that, I thank you very much and I appreciate you. Have a glorious Pisces season. And remember this body tool. It will help you to feel balanced. With that, I'll send that over to you, Zane.
Thank you for this body practice here. This body tool for Pisces season. It was an interesting experience for me to bring my foot up to my camera like that. As yeah, it's a weird thing that of balancing in my chair in a kind of in a corner that if I wasn't as flexible as I am, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. So, woohoo, flexibility. And with that, a quick overview reminder, use that body tool to help you through Pisces season. And know that Pisces season here is about reflection, taking time for yourself, and going slow. Don't feel like you have to rush, go fast, go your own pace. Don't have anyone try and pressure you to go faster than what you can go. And with that, thank you for watching. Once again, there will be a link down in the description for our Aries season gathering, and hope to see you there next time.